Hi, I'm Luann Worley with Rockin Book Reviews, and I'm so pleased today to have Senior Virtual Book Tour Coordinator and owner of I Read Book Tours, Laura Fabiani. Laura was one of the key people in my blog history, and I had only had my blog a short time when when she had contacted me and asked if I would join her tour group in posting reviews for her books. And I was really terrified. I told her, I don't know how to do this. And she just step by step walked me through it. And it was really easy the way she presented it. And since then, I thought, well, this is what I want to do. But I decided it's too much work. And
It is.
if ever I do it, Laura will be the #1 person I go to as my mentor because she is amazing. In 2008, Laura began blogging about books shortly after she published her first book. She started Library of Clean Reads, a book review blog, and discovered the joy of reviewing a variety of genres. Her children have joined in this venture, and they spend many happy hours reading books together. A special care counselor by profession, Laura has co-led and developed programs for seniors with dementia, including Alzheimer's disease, and she has a passion for the topic of neuroscience and wellness. Throughout the years, she has met and worked with wonderful publishers, both traditional and indie, as well as publicists and authors. Best of all, she discovered the world of book bloggers, a community of special people who spend their precious time sharing their love of books and all the things related to books. Taking part in book tours has always made Laura feel more connected to the authors and publishing field. She organized her own virtual tour when her book was published, and she learned several things. As an author, it exposed her to actual reader views and social medias. As a book blogger and book tour organizer, it taught her the amount of work it entailed, and she loves it. Since then, she has added Deborah Schoenberger to her staff. And you can find Laura blogging at Library of Clean Reads and Essentially Italian. She also is the owner of Italy Book Tours. Now, what type of research went into formulating your company, iReads?
So as you said, I've been book blogging since 2008. That's about 10 years that I've been doing that. And I've worked with other tour companies. I still work with some tour companies on occasion to review books for them. And so I got to see how tour companies worked. And I carefully studied what they were doing, and then I worked to establish my own brand.
So did you find this information on the internet, or?
No, I knew how the other tour companies worked. I did do research when I looked to other companies up. I mean, there's a slew of tour companies out there that do virtual blog tours, and more are coming out have come out in the last few years. So I just go see what they're doing, how they're working, and I really wanted to have my own brand and function way of functioning, and so I made sure that I established my own kind of way of working. And I did that by researching other companies to see what they were doing, and then deciding what I wanted to do in a tour company.
Well, you have been amazing. You are the best, I mean it, the best tour company I work with.
Thank you.
What guidelines were set to accomplish this goal?
Okay, so I have 3 guidelines. The first is always take care of your book bloggers, because without book bloggers, there are no tours, right? So I worked really hard at building my book blogger database. I tried to make participating in tours convenient for my book bloggers. I also have an incentive program that rewards all who participate in my tours. I think it's really important for bloggers to know that they're appreciated. Being a book blogger myself, I know how time consuming it is to read and review books. So I always try to make sure that my book bloggers know how much I appreciate them. That's one guideline. The second guideline is I'm specific about which genres I work with. and which genres I don't work with. If I don't feel that we are a good fit for a certain book, then I make sure the author knows that it wouldn't be fair to take on his book. Sometimes I refer him to another tour company. I've done that. Because every book we take on, we have to really be excited about. It has to be a book that I myself would read. So that's my second guideline. And finally, a third guideline that I have, and which is important to me, is to provide excellent customer service for my authors. Whether they're newbie authors, whether they're publicists or publishers, I make sure that my authors know that they can reach me anytime through email, through phone. If they have extra questions, I'm there to answer them. This is really important for me to provide customer service. So those are my 3 guidelines.
And you do them very well. So how did you advertise in order to obtain your clientele?
Okay. To tell you the truth, I haven't done much advertising. When I initially started in 2014, I worked with a publicist who did have a marketing company, but she wasn't doing virtual blog tours. So I approached her. We started doing virtual blog tours for her company. But after a year, I decided I liked working on my own better. And so we split up. And what I did is I decided to go to Book Expo America. I've been there 3 times. And by going there, I've met new authors. I gave my business card out, spoke to different publicists, authors, publishers, spread the word in that way. But really, that's the only advertising that I've done. At this point, I didn't get to go to Book Expo this year. But at this point, I really have the clients coming to me. I have a lot of work. I think it's because I have an established clientele. I have a lot of returning authors, and they also tell their friends. So I have a lot of referrals, which I think is the best kind of advertising. You know, when an author tells another author, I really like the way she works, and then they're referred to me. So I'm very pleased with that. I think that's about it. I know a lot of authors tell me they found me through internet research. So I must be doing something right because my name, you know, my company name pops up when they're doing research. So
you're doing everything right. and I can add that you've got quite a few bloggers that are referring people to you also.
Oh, thank you. See, I think that must be it too, because I do have a lot of people saying that they were referred to me, which I'm glad. Most of the time I like to ask them who it was so that I can thank the blogger or the author who referred me. I think it's important to do that. So, but I'm pleased. I am.
So I know I get approached a lot on LinkedIn for references, and I think other bloggers do too.
Thank you.
In what ways have you expanded your company? See, you started this, what, 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, in 2014 I started, so I'm in my 5th year. So I read book tours as a mother company. I have a sub company, which is Italy Book Tours, and I only tour books that are set in Italy or written by an Italian author for Italy Book Tours. And that's because I'm of Italian origin and I love to promote and feature Italian books when I can. So I started that company. And I had also started Je Lis Blog Tour, which was a French company for the French market. So I had a French author who was working with me on that. She was excellent. She had gathered a group of book bloggers. We had a good database, but the indie French market is not as good as the North American indie market. And so we just couldn't get it off. We tried, working with publicists, publishers. I don't think they're as advanced as we are in North America. So it didn't really work out. We tried it, and we did that for about a year and a half. And then I decided not to put any more effort and time into that, just to focus on I Read Book Tours and Italy Book Tours.
So how long had you do I Read before you added Italy?
I think about a year later. About a year later. Yeah.
That's great. Okay. And what challenges did you discover that you hadn't expected?
I have to say the greatest challenge is trying to balance my work life with my home life. And sometimes I think I've got it all together, and then, something happens with the kids or the husband or whatever, and it just kind of, okay. So there's, because I work from home, so it's so easy to say, hey, Mom, drive me here. Hey, Mom, I need to do this. And so I'm the one that's home. And so that can be a challenge, but it's doable, really. It's okay. I'm dealing with a challenge, and I like working from home. Actually, I think that it gives me a lot of freedom, so that's okay. The other challenge that I'm finding now is to keep my book blogger database fresh and expanding, since there is burnout among book bloggers. I'm sure you know that. You know,
Oh,
it's
yes.
hard to book blog. It really is. Life happens, things happen, and you know, a lot of book bloggers, I mean, they do this voluntarily. So there's a lot of blogger burnout. So many opt out of doing tours after a while. So it's to keep up, make sure that my database, there are fresh people signing up to do tours, and sometimes you have to go looking for them, but I've had signups, which is good, but that's always a challenge to maintain a good book blogger database so that you're able to fill the tours. That's the biggest challenge for me.
So in that, what other ways have you expanded your company since you first started?
I think the when we first started, we didn't have spotlight tours, so we just had review tours. And about a year after we started the company, we decided there's a lot of authors who just wanted to spotlight their book, and we said, why not? Let's do it. And so we started doing that as well. And I'm always on the lookout for innovative ways to do things. Like I have a book grabber package, and it uses another company to use social media to expose authors. So I'm always looking for things that I can do to expand the company in that way, to find innovative, you know.
So do you act as a publicist as well?
Sometimes I know that there's several authors who've asked me to be their publicist, and I tell them I don't think I'm qualified to be their publicist. I know the book blogging world very well. I have really good communication skills, so if I could help them with things that I feel I'm qualified to help them with, I will be more than happy to do so. But I've turned down offers for me to be, you know, authors publicists, because I think that if you find one who knows how to do her job right, you should be fine. But I don't think I'm qualified to be a publicist. I mean, I do a lot of the work of a publicist, but I don't know. I just think I'm good at what I do for virtual blog tours, and so I'll stick to what I know, kind of thing. I don't want to disappoint anybody, so.
Why can't you do everything? I mean, heavens, you're amazing.
Oh,
okay, what are your goals for the next 5 years?
Again, to keep doing what I'm doing, to keep thriving at what I'm doing, to love what I'm doing. And also, like I mentioned before, to find and implement innovative ways to market authors. 20 years ago, virtual blog tours didn't exist. So there's always new things that come out, and I'm always on the lookout for new things. I like working with people who like to think outside the box. So in the next 5 years, I'm looking at expanding with virtual blog tours. But if that takes another direction, if there's other things that come along that I see that can really help authors promote their books, then I have no problems, veering in that direction and trying new things. I'm always, we tried the French market, we tried something new. If it didn't work out, doesn't matter. Let's move on to something else, So I'm very much open to trying new things and to see what's out there. And hopefully I'll be able to implement some innovative ways in the next 5 years. That's what I'm hoping.
I think that's one thing with you, is because you not only got the energy, you've got the motivation and the insight to look into broader areas.
And sometimes you meet really interesting people that come up with really great ideas, and it's just a matter of partnering up with them and just kind of discussing the ideas and then seeing what you can do together. I've met some really interesting people when I've been to Book Expo that have given me ideas for things, but sometimes we're not quite ready to implement them, or we just have to see how it works out for the authors. Like I want to make sure that I'm offering a product that I can stand by. I won't just jump into something that, I didn't fully research and I didn't fully, work at. I want to make sure that the product that I offer an author, I'm fully convinced it's going to work. I try it out first, and then I see how it works from there.
I noticed that, one reason I backed off of doing tours is because the last couple of years, there's been a lot of tour companies come up. And I find that a lot of them are having a lot of problems getting bloggers to review for them.
Mhm.
So why do you feel a publicist or author would benefit from your services over those of another company?
Okay. I think, first of all, because I'm pretty established. I've been doing this. I've been book blogging for 10 years. I've been doing this. I'm in my 5th year. Also because I'm really strong on customer service. I take the time to speak on the telephone with authors, publicists, and talk about the campaign that we're going to do. I'm open to implementing ideas if they have ideas. I'm open to implementing that. We talk about what the blog tour is going to do for their book. So I'm very much a people person, and I work with a person. I don't just work through emails. I know some authors really need to be reassured, need to have somebody on the phone that they can, and some authors have no idea what a virtual blog tour is all about. They just really don't know. And just reading information online is not enough.
No.
So this is where, I talk on the phone with them, and they can ask me any questions, I explain it thoroughly for them. Then they feel that, oh, this person will take care of my book, and that's important for them, and it's important for me. And it's also important for me to know who I'm working with as well. And I've maintained really good relationships with authors, even like 4 years after I've helped them promote their books, just because we've had a chance to become friends, which I love. I think that's a perk of my job. Also, I'm a little different from other tour companies because I actually guarantee reviews. So if somebody is going to purchase, let's say, my super deluxe package, which guarantees between 20 and 25 reviews, well, I'm going to get you between 20 and 25 reviews, scheduled reviews, And sometimes I'll schedule a few more so that if some bloggers, for whatever reason, can't post, we're still within the number of reviews that I've guaranteed. And I think authors like that because reviews is what they're looking for. It's good to have book spotlights and exposure through interviews and guest posts, but really they want reviews. And I worked hard at getting my book bloggers to understand that I'm a serious tour company, that if you do sign up for my tours, I do expect you to keep a commitment, but I'm also very flexible, very understanding. If somebody can't, is ill, something happens, they can't post, that's fine as well. So I've developed a good relationship with my book bloggers, and I love that. I think it's important, because like I said, book bloggers are the heart of a tour company. Without them, there wouldn't be tours. So I've established this relationship both with authors and with book bloggers. And I think that I'm in a unique position to say, look, if you buy this package from me, I can guarantee you reviews, and you will have a successful virtual blog tour. And in all the years that I've been doing this, I have never had a tour that did not fulfill the quota of reviews. So I'm pretty proud of that. I've worked hard to get to that. And I appreciate the book bloggers that are committed to me. Of course, there are those sometimes if they don't commit, I do have to remove them from my database. I just can't allow authors to be sending out books to bloggers who are not going to post reviews, for no reason. I mean, if they have good reason, it happens. But so I've developed, like I said, a good database of book bloggers that are committed. And that's so iRead can actually are able to guarantee reviews for authors.
I know when I have had to reschedule or fall through on my commitment, I felt so bad. So it's amazing that, how do you smooth that over with your authors?
Again, I tell my authors, because I'm a book blogger myself, and I know the work involved, I do tell my authors, look, my book bloggers, they're amazing, first of all. They work very hard, and they do this voluntarily. So they know that, because I send them like a contract that explains all of that. And I don't allow my authors to communicate directly with my book bloggers if they're not happy with anything. They have to go through me, because I'm the middle person and I understand both sides of the game, Also, the authors know that sometimes it's possible a book blogger won't be able to post. And that's why I always try to book more reviews than they've paid for. So that if a blogger 1 or 2 doesn't post, we're still within the, and it smooths over. Most authors are very appreciative. Most authors know that they've sent out books and not gotten reviews. So when they actually now are working with a virtual tour company and see the reviews coming in, they're like, oh my gosh, like I'm actually getting reviews, you know? And I say to them, well, you've worked with other tour companies or you worked with other publicists, you haven't, and they say, no, it's not the same. Like I was never guaranteed how many reviews I was going to get. I sent out 20 books and I got like 3 reviews. And I tell them, well, that's the difference between a virtual blog tour, because the book bloggers that work with us are very committed. I've worked with them for several years. They know me, and it works. It works. You know, the commitment
Well,
with the
and you make your forms so easy that it's very easy for us bloggers to comply.
Well, thank you for telling me that, because I really work hard at trying to make it as convenient as possible for my book bloggers. So I always tell my book bloggers, if there's anything, let me know, just because I know that it's not easy. It's time consuming, you know, and again, if I take care of my book bloggers, my company thrives. It's just a way to that's really key, you know, because the authors will come, but it's the book bloggers that you have to take care of. So I try hard to take care of my book bloggers. I really do.
You do an excellent job. Like I said, if I ever get to that point, I will come to you saying, help, Laura. I want to do it just like you.
No problem.
Okay. All right. I had something else I wanted to say, but I went through my senior moment here. But have you got any final words before we sign off?
Yes. First of all, happy bloggerversary. I mean, you've been blogging now for what? You're in your 5th year, right? 5 years. So that's quite something, because, like I said, we know there's book blogger burnout, and you've been going at it for 5 years. So congratulations on that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
And thank you so much for inviting me to be part of your anniversary bash, your anniversary celebration. I'm very honored, and I think
be my celebration without you.
And I'm very pleased that you've stuck with me and you're part of my tour host list. Thank you so much. Like I said, I really appreciate you and all that you've done and all the years that you've been working with me. So thank you.
Thank you. We need more hosts like you.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to sign off, and I want to highly recommend I Read Book Tours for anybody who is looking for an outstanding host that will promote their books. And signing off for now, I just want to encourage everybody to search the universe through books. Thank you. Bye.